Today, I've decided to do some painting. I've got my cup filled with water, gathered all of my favorite brushes, and then I went to set up my wet palette. Everything was set and ready to go. But as I started painting, I was thinking how easy it is now to set up a nice, smooth and wet palette, and how stressed I used to be when I first started the hobby. So in today's video, I'm going to take you on a journey where we're going to answer some questions that more than 90% of the beginners are asking. And it's all related to the best tool that a miniatures painter can have, the wet palette. Obviously, right away you're asking yourself, what is a wet palette? Well, a palette is a surface on which a painter arranges and mixes paint. A wet palette typically consists of a plastic case, a layer of absorbent material like a wet sponge, and a sheet of porous paper, usually parchment paper, on top. The palette delivers the right amount of moisture, keeping your paint workable for hours. Enough with the science. We are heading to the next question, and now you're probably asking, is it any good? Well, the wet palette is literally a miniatures painter wet dream. It allows you to keep your paints moist and workable for a longer period of time, which is especially useful when working on a large project or when the paint tends to dry out quickly, such as acrylic paint. It is a great surface to mix paints on. It is also easier to mix colors on a wet palette, as the paint is more fluid and can be more easily blended together. It's one of my favorite tools, and it definitely speeds up the painting process and also helps you not to waste a lot of your expensive paint. Now it's literally time to wrap this up and head down to the last checkpoint on our map. Now we're heading down to the most important question, and probably the reason why you clicked on this video in the first place. How do I set up my wet palette? So after washing the wet palette, I've used some kitchen roll to dry off. Also, I made sure that I squeezed all of the water from the spongy material base. We don't want it to be completely dry, but we need to try and squeeze as much water as possible from it. Now it's time to place some water on the wet palette. And halfway through, I've realized I'm using the wrong recipient and you can't really see anything that I'm doing. So I've got something smaller and transparent. You're gonna be better doing this under the sink anyways. I'm doing it on my desk just now so you can see what's happening. So you're just gonna pour enough water to cover the whole surface. And this is my test that I'm doing. If I run my finger through and the splash is longer than 1 centimeter, it means that I've got too much water. So now literally I'm just gonna squeeze the extra water off. And this is the final result. And I'm doing the splash test once again. This is perfect. The splash is less than 1 centimeter. Now it's time to grab some hydration paper. We are gonna take one sheet and we are gonna place it gently in the middle of the wet palette. We're gonna go around now and evenly press the paper against the palette until the whole surface of the paper gets wet. As you can see, there's a lot of creases and air bubbles. The way we fix this is by lifting one side of the paper and pull it gently with one hand, while making it flat on the surface with the other hand thumb. This way you're gonna push the air that's stuck underneath towards the edge of the paper. Now we're going to turn it around and do the same on the other half. The only thing you need to do is to be gentle. And there you have it. This is a perfect flat surface without any ridges or obstacles for your paint. And now your wet palette is ready to go. That was it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed and found it useful. I'm gonna wrap this up now and keep it set up for the next one. See you then.